But is there any law that could have stopped him that you just described, that he was not in any of the categories that people normally look out for? So could there have been any law passed that would have stopped him?
No, he passed background checks registering for handguns and other weapons on multiple occasions.
That was Senator Dianne Feinstein, a leader in the gun control industry and the sponsor of the '94 and 2013 assault weapons ban, answering questions concerning her proposals in the wake of the Las Vegas shooting. I'm also reminded of a quote by Mark Glaze, the former director of the gun control group Everytown for Gun Safety. And I quote, "I think it's a messaging problem when a mass shooting happens and nothing we have to offer would have prevented that mass shooting." Every time there's a high-profile mass murder using a firearm, leaders of the gun control industry are on the news proposing new restrictions before the bodies are cold. They ask things like, how many people must die before we do this? Implying that their restrictions would have prevented it. But as we heard earlier, even they know that these restrictions would not prevent such events. Now, these bills were not designed to prevent mass shootings, and they were not written in response to any given event. Most of these bills were written a long time ago by people who believe that civilians should not own guns, and they use mass shootings to lend support to bills that move the ball in that direction. Now, Las Vegas was no exception. We had leaders in the gun control industry tweeting out support for new restrictions within a half hour before anyone really knew what had actually taken place. And like other events, none of the restrictions proposed in its wake would have prevented or even mitigated this event. And they know that. In the next few weeks and months, there is going to be a lot of discussion about gun control. So in your conversations with people, when they ask things like, why are your gun rights more important than my safety? Remind them that that's a false dichotomy. That legal gun ownership is not at odds with public safety, and that these proposed restrictions cannot make them safer. In their less guarded moments, even the sponsors and major proponents of these bills admit that.